Good evening, guys. Warm welcome. Hope you are able to hear me and see me. This is a live streaming in LinkedIn and other social media like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you need any doubts or clarification, you are always welcome to comment in any of the media. Today, we are going to see a topic sales and operation planning, very integral part of supply chain management, especially in a manufacturing kind of environment where there is operations and other side supply chain and sales kind of environment and may or may not be directly helpful who are in the trading or in retail supply chain. So this is more directed towards the manufacturing supply chain, but you can adopt anywhere. Many organizations they have a lot of problem in balancing the supply and demand, and many times you visit any organization there will be a lot of conflicts and finger pointing, one function against other function, and many times supply chain people will be held in between, and they don't know what to do. And also you may see in the organization every function will have their own functions, and they will have their own independent target. For example, production number will be one, sales guy will be having a different number, supply chain guy will be having a different number. So the working will not be smooth unless there is a SNOP function in organization, and many organizations have found out the benefits of implementing S&OP. And I have seen in many MNCs these are integral part of supply chain management. Okay, you may see even in the job advertisement or job description, S&OP is a important requirement in many of the organization. And we are going to see a brief introduction about S&OP in this program. Allow me to attach the screen. Meanwhile, I can see a comment from Mayank Kumar regarding Apex CLTD. Maybe Mayank, you can reach out to our executives. They will provide you the contact WhatsApp contact number. You can reach out to them. They will guide you how to do the CLTD exam. In this topic, we are focusing on sales and operations planning, an integral part of supply chain management. So before we dig into the topic, let me introduce myself. My name is Pattabhiraman. This is my Udemy profile. As of now, I have nearly 3,000 candidates enrolling for my program. Also, I am available in LinkedIn. You can either follow me or connect with me. My profile name is Supply Chain Master. And coming to my basic background, I am an engineer with a PG degree in management and data science. I have nearly 2.5 decades working in this global organization like Bosch, WAPCO. WAPCO is now known as ZF. Maybe these organizations are mostly into automotive first tier, and the last organization is into manufacturing of CNC machines required for construction sector. So during this 25 years, I have handled the various subdomain in the supply chain basically, and the last 10 years I was heading the supply chain in this global organization. Currently, I am heading an organization known as Thoughtware Training uh, as a CEO. As far as my background is concerned, I am a PIC certified professional. Possibly, if you are in supply chain and also in the job market, you should be knowing about the certification. If you need any basic guidance, you are welcome to reach out to me or our executive, or even you can Google up and find out why it is important to have this certification, especially when you are in job market. I also have similar certification from an organization called DDI. They are also based in US. They provide similar certification, but still yet to be recognized in the Indian job market. DDPP means Demand Driven Planner Professional. I am also a certified purchasing manager and project management professional apart from qualified in analytics. Coming to our organization, we are based in Bangalore, 5-year-old organization. We provide both consulting and training in the field of supply chain and allied domain. One of our popular program which is recognized worldwide is on supply chain analytics. So if you are looking for a better job, you need two characters. One is APIX like global certification and analytical skills related to supply chain, then it is possible to get a better job. Coming to the topic, sales and operational planning, you can see most of the organization, especially multinational organization, they are divided into two main functions. One is sales and another one is operation. Operation also includes a supply chain in the Western context, and the third one will be all other function, maybe finance, HR. So there are three major function in any major organization, and the conflict will be mainly between sales and operations. Okay, because the sales, because of the nature of the market, there will be always a gap between the supply and the demand. Demand will keep on varying, supply will also keep on varying. So you may see 95% of all our marketing is operational, relationship is adversarial. Marketing versus operation, they will have always a problem, and if you enter any meeting room, you will see the fire in the meeting room, say, and also the finger pointing, because there is no clear agreement between the sides, especially sales and operation, what will materialize in the coming and future months, and no concurrent plan exists in most of the normal traditional industry. Okay, conflicts are there in traditional type of industries, which you have to understand why this is so, because of functional hierarchy. Okay, we have divided organization into multiple departments. Even you can see some of the traditional organization, purchases is different, demand planning is separate, inventory management is separate, supply planning is separate, logistic is separate. So these are called silo organization. Each one is having their own objective KPI and misaligned performance measurement. When I talk about KPI, each function will have their own KPI, and there will be a fight. When they have their own independent KPI, it will not match, and you have different kind of personalities, leadership, unenlightened leadership. Possibly, you may also see the leadership doing politics, and they may join with some of the group and promoting them. That also promotes organizational conflict, and you cannot avoid. Many of you might have experienced this type of politics when head of the function or head of the organization is not capable of handling all the function, so he will align with some team, especially with the sales or production team, and this is happening even when in the traditional modern time. These conflicts are available there, and also organization do not have a better forecasting. They work with some scrap forecasting methods, and they will have lot of problem in that case, and this leads to the norm in most of the company. For example, they will place back orders, dissatisfied customer, and high inventory. This is one of the problem for supply chain management. You enter such kind of organization, they will have huge inventory on one side, on other side they will have lot of shortages. which only means that unwanted inventories are building up, but really required inventory is not available. Late shipment item will not be dispatched to the customer on time, so the OTD or OTF performance will be very poor. Finger pointing in any meeting, you will see that the finger will especially come to supply chain people. The problem can be in marketing or production or quality, any other function. The finger pointing especially happens towards the supply chain guy, so it is a critical job. And finally, it could also lead to cash flow problem in the organization. All reason is basic foundation, or the basic problem is supply and demand is in imbalance. It is not balanced, and nobody is taking responsibility to balance this situation in most of the organization. And possibly there is a business plan which is made once in a year. It is in the back burner unless someone digs, especially from finance department. It is not considered so far. So there is one possible solution. Possibly first step is, if the traditional organization, they have to move if possible to operational structure. Okay, operation should include all the functions, like purchasing, production, supply chain, and the miscellaneous function into operation, so that every subdomain in the operation is properly aligned, and that structure has to come. And this SNOP is a activity or even a function you can call, or most possibly you can call that as a business process, is helping to find out a balance between the demand and supply. Okay, you may see in many of the job posting, most of the organization are looking for this kind of a position. Okay, this can be a full-time job in large organization, and it can be a part-time if the organization is small or medium companies. But you may see all most of the multinational companies, they have this full-time position, including e-commerce platform. But in the traditional organization, possibly they may call this as a production meeting or production planning meeting. But the multinational environment, they call this as SNOP. It is a business tool, relatively easy to implement, not cost much, and start to generate result within a few months of getting started. Sharply improves the ability to run the process, helps them to get the demand and supply in balance, and also to keep them in balance. Okay, but the position requires a very good coordination, communication skill, coordinating with all the heads of function. So if you are one of those guys, you are eligible for this position, because when you are working in this position, the growth is automatically guaranteed, because you are dealing with CEO or head of the functions, and if you are able to align them and bring them to a single path, then your growth is guaranteed. Main balancing has to occur at aggregate and volume level, but all this thing will be broken up in many of our programs. It is not a small program, so you can see one of our program on SNOP, which is a self-paced program, which is 7 to 8 hours program. Here I am trying to give an introduction or brief. And SNOP is something like you are institutionalizing communication throughout the organization. Okay, and it is a tool to manage change. If you are trying to bring any change to any of the process or product, you can use SNOP as a process. There are a lot of problem on one side. The demand exceeds the supply, so what to do in such situation, because it's going to affect customer service. Cost is going to definitely increase and quality is lost. On the other hand, if supply exceeds the demand, inventory increases, layoff are possible, and the morale of the employees suffers, profit margin naturally squeezes. So one side demand is more, and another side supply is more, and many times supply and demand is not in a stable condition. That is how 90% of the business are operating. So this business tool, is trying to bring a alignment in these two mismatches. And possibly those who are watching live, I could see many people are live. If you are having any doubts or comments, you are always welcome to comment, so that we can debate and discuss. Being able to see the projected imbalances soon enough is what is needed. And not only we are talking about today, this week, this month figures, sales, demand figures, but we are also going to see what's going to happen in the next 6 months, next 1 year, so that we can do some preemptive action. This business tool, S&OP, brings people into that platform where they can think about what's going to happen next 6 months, next 1 month, 1 year, or possibly it stretches up to 18 months. Okay, so you can have a sufficient time for planning. Mainly, if we have to go for capacity expansion, it requires time. Many times you need to invest in capital investments, which may take much a longer period. Okay, and many times we may not also know whether it's a demand issue or supply issue. Only the finger pointing will happen. But this business tool, S&OP, points to a particular problem. There is nothing wrong if it is a demand. We have to agree and work towards solving the problem. Okay, and we can use this S&OP tool to identify a particular problem and get an agreement among your colleagues on this point, which will often lead the way to solve the problem. And also, it is recommended to decouple demand from the supply, study and analyze separately, so that they can be brought together in the real world. Okay, so there should be a willingness from the top management and also all the participants to make this happen. But some organization, they have a bad belief, saying we want to control organization through politics, then organization is going to suffer. Okay, so also this gives a guidance that we are going to talk at a aggregate level, which means we are going to talk at volume level. If you always finalize the figure on volume, the mix is going to come automatically. So in this, by using this business tool, you are going to finalize the volume, possibly for the current and the future months. Okay, and finally, the S&OP mission is to balance demand and supply at a volume level. In fact, we are not going to discuss at a mix level. And we are going to bring together all the related function, including the top of the organization, with the whatever name he is called. He could be a CEO or director or a president. He should get involved, and we will make a consensus plan. Okay, so if you want a basic definition of S&OP, it's a business process that helps companies keep demand and supply in balance, and this usually happens in monthly cycle. It's a cross-functional team, occurs at multiple level. So especially if you have multiple plants, multiple division, multiple products in a complex environment, this business tool really helps to find a solution. And this tool will link companies' strategic plan and business plan to it, a detailed process. Okay, enables to view business holistically and give them a window into the future. As far as future benefit is concerned, we are expected to have one single number across the business, and also the gap between supply and demand is expected to be minimum, and in the process you are going to optimize the inventory, maximize the customer service level. But this is the business process tool is not as simple as this introduction, so you have to understand what are the steps involved and how to handle the situation when the gap is more. What are the techniques available, what are the methodologies which we can use to bring such gap to a minimum level. There are a lot of benefits. That's where many organizations are using this, and also this connects the pieces when you have a strategic plan and business plan and operational plan. This serves as a link between the company's strategic plan to the operational plan. We have a program many times. If we have a batch, we are doing live program. Otherwise we have a recorded self-paced program on SNOP, which is available online, roughly 6 hours. You will understand what are the steps involved, and it may help you to put this process in your resume so that you are better placed to receive interview call. And of course the recorded version is a low priced economy edition. And of course you will see this benefit especially in the Indian environment. Possibly you may have a lot of program online from others perspective, outside India's perspective, but here you have to use our own priority. So anyone who have a doubt, who are watching live, you can comment. You are also welcome to visit any of the sites. We have both the live and self-paced program. You can reach out to either to me or our executives with the given WhatsApp number. Any questions, any doubts, clarification on SNOP or supply chain related programs? I provide both consulting and training. If any one of you need any of the service, you are always welcome to reach out to me. Apart from SNOP, as I was mentioning, one of the popular program is supply chain analytics. Also, if you are in purchasing, procurement, or sourcing, you can check out our certified sourcing analyst, which also includes spend analytics. And nowadays supply chain or even procurement logistic is a integral with analytics. If you do not have that capability, finding a better job in the current Indian job market is very difficult. Any comments? This session and all previous sessions are recorded and available in our YouTube channel. Maybe in one of our comments, you can see the link to our YouTube channel. You can subscribe. We all these videos are free on various supply chain topics. It is available in our YouTube channel. You are welcome to subscribe. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts or clarification, you are always welcome to reach to me. Thanks for participation. Have a nice evening and also nice weekend. Bye.